Hi everyone, and welcome to the 15th episode of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My name is Julio. I am the dream alchemist at Roofless Painters, and I am going to be the host of this episode. So for those who are watching for the first time, the Roofless Dog and Pony Show is a live, unedited presentation featuring the conceptual and stylistic inspiration behind our painting webinars. What we do here, we introduce the theme of the next painting collection, and we talk about the inspiration behind it, and we do so mentioning art history notes, contemporary and modern art references, and we add a bit of commentary. And you can find the episodes of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show, the 15th or the 14 episodes in our YouTube channel, and also here on Instagram as well. And we have a link to our YouTube channel and the link in bio. So go check it out, and then you can watch any of the episodes for free. And so I'm gonna go right ahead and present the theme for the next webinar, FACEPALM. That's the title. And so it's been a very interesting week so far, and it's only Thursday, but this was a pivotal week for many reasons, politically, obviously. So we did not witness the spectacle on Tuesday night, but it was a very important moment. And for the looks of it, it looks like it sounds and looks like it was a disaster, and we all lost. So we were discussing this week, and we were exchanging text messages, we were talking with friends and family, and we used the word facepalm to describe our feelings. And so that was it. That was the trigger of the inspiration for this week's webinar. And then what I'm going to do right now, just to give you a couple of references that we didn't know. The word facepalm is not an old word. It appeared, I think, in 2006 for the very first time. Let me just check. I have my notes here, and I just want to go in 1 second. I'll just a facepalm, a gesture found in many cultures as a display of frustration, disappointment, exasperation, embarrassment, horror, shock, surprise, exhaustion, sarcasm, or incredulous disbelief. Well, there you have it. I think pretty much that sums up the list of feelings that we went through so far this week. The origins, again, in 1996, actually May 15, 1996, on Google Groups chat. On a Google Groups chat, the word facepalm appeared for the very first time. And so one thing led to the next, and then in August 2011, the Oxford English Dictionary added the word facepalm in the dictionary. So we try to bring examples, as we always do, bring examples of facepalms throughout art history. And we got to tell you, it hasn't been easy. We don't know if it's because it's a recent phenomenon. We read that since now we partially live online and virtually, facepalm is an action or a way of expressing feelings without using any words. So yeah, it expresses again frustration, disappointment, shock, and it's very much used online. So much so that in 2016, the facepalm emoji appeared. And also, yeah, so let's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to examples that we found of face palms in history. This is a sculpture in Paris, in I forgot in the Tuileries, I think, park, 1896. Yeah, 1896. Cane by sculptor Henri Vidal. So yeah, it's in the Tuileries in Paris. So a facepalm is not just covering your face. A facepalm, it requires the action of grabbing your face and pushing against it. So it's not just a fashion editorial sort of like gesture. There is a requirement, or there is an emotional expression within with the act. So this, for us, pictures or represents, or it's a visual example of a face palm and what it means, covering your face, but also with a certain expression. And this one we couldn't find the reference, but it's called a double face palm, and that's something that it exists. It's not just face palm right now, but you can do a double one. And in regards of double face palms, we're going to show you what we think it's approximately the most famous one. Edward Munch. It doesn't cover the face, but pretty much you could argue that this would be a good example in painting of what a face palm would look like. Since that word didn't exist before 1996, I just wonder if it was used as inspiration for a lot of artists. And it's not super popular, but in fact it has another Edward Munch. It's not really a face palm, but this painting is titled Melancholy, and there's a hand partially covering the face. Another example of how we could use a face and a hand on this assignment. It's going to be a self-portrait, by the way, to express our feelings. I couldn't find the reference of this image, but a modern version of facepalm photography doesn't have a lot of examples of facepalms, but we found this one. And Van Gogh had a couple. This was his Dr. Gachet, and it's not really a facepalm, but it has an expression of frustration, or yeah, we would say that maybe exasperation. I don't know. Shock, perhaps not. Exhaustion, maybe yes. But Van Gogh also did one painting that does represent that feeling, and that's considered one of his last paintings. It's titled At Eternity's Gate, and that's the title of a movie that came out last year, by the way. And so yeah, this is another example. I think this was 1890s, 1896 or something like that. Yes. But yeah, another example of a face palm. And we love this one, a girl with a dead canary. Yeah, I don't think the canary is showing, but yeah, this is another good example. This was 1500s, I believe. And this one right here, let me just find the title. It's not exactly a face palm, but could be a painting that represents frustration. The Passion of Creation by Leonid Pasternak. So we think it's another good example of face palms throughout art history. So again, what we're going to do this week, we are going to use our faces and our hands to take a selfie featuring this frustrating expression, face palm. We're also going to add some images of people covering their faces in frustration, just in case you don't want to do a self-portrait. and you prefer to do, there's another photograph of a double face palm. We don't know the reference of it, but yeah, we thought it would be a good example. So yeah, it would be a self-portrait. I'm just looking at other stuff. A self-portrait with our hands, one hand, two hands covering our faces, and that's the assignment. And finally, I mean, this is a huge stretch, but we've been driving around and finding images of the new campaign by iPhone in which they feature someone's face covered by an iPhone. So we couldn't help but connecting the idea of that face covering in 2020, which is now represented by our phones smacked against our faces. Is that conceptually connected? Perhaps not, because it doesn't read as an example of frustration, but we thought that perhaps this could have been a good modern contemporary representation of that gesture. Instead of like covering our faces with our hands, we're now covering our faces with our smartphones, and let's not even go to the fact that we are covering our faces with masks, and I feel it's going to stay for a long time. So thanks for watching. This is the presentation. What we do on Fridays, we take 2 hours to paint. We do critique time. You can go to our website, link in bio to access our website. You can register for the webinar, for the painting webinar. Any level is welcome. You don't have to have all the materials. We walk you through every step throughout the process. We have a critique session after the 2 hours. It's very helpful. We have a shared folder that it's private, and we share our work. We also give feedback. We reconvene the following week on Tuesday. That session is also a bonus session, free for those who register, Roofless in Colloquium, where we give another opportunity to give feedback on the work, and also we add a free tutorial based on any challenges that have come up during the session, the previous painting webinar. So all in all, it's a great way to learn, to work, to be part of our community, and to create something that's connected with our current experience. We've done, I think, a couple of self-portraits already, and each one of them depicts a very specific moment throughout this pandemic time. So I think this one will have a very significant, or will be a very significant addition to that self-portrait gallery. Also, we're very happy to announce that we started our outdoor painting sessions again. Our friends at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale granted us the privilege to take very tiny groups there with very specific restrictions in order to be able to paint outdoors. So we hosted what we called an open studio. Well, in this case, yeah, it was a studio time, but in the open air this past Saturday. We're going to have another one on October 17th, Saturday, October 17th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The session is already on our calendar, so you can go and register for it. It's not going to be plein air unless you want to make it a plein air session. What we do is we take our work and we continue working, but outside, or you can start your own work as well. It's a studio time in the open air, Saturday, October 17th, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Register online, link in bio. FACEPALM, self-portraits covering our faces in horror. Quite appropriate. All right, bye everyone.